right. Firstly, I'd like to start by welcoming everybody today. My name is Aarti Rajkumar, and I'm really honored and privileged to be the program director for today. We have a lot coming up and a very exciting program. This is the series called Yoga Charcha, and it is the 9th episode. This is a discussion on yoga and a whole series of interactions with the experts themselves. I'd like to welcome a few wonderful guests today. We have Mr. Kamal Maharaj, the educator, founder, and CEO of Vishwa Shakti. He will do the introductory remarks. Over to you, Mr. Maharaj.
Namaste, Vanakam, Namaskaram, Saubona. Welcome to our 9th episode of Yoga Charcha series. This is an interaction between yoga experts, and we take the understanding of yoga to the next level. In fact, today our welcome remarks are going to be made by Ms. Aarti Rajkumar, Head of Education, Curo Holdings, and we have great pleasure in introducing this new idea of yoga that seems to be taking the world by storm. Of course, not very new in the world, but probably in South Africa. The founder teacher at Guru Cat Hot Yoga Mshlanga is Miss Kim Mazabow. And Paula Martini, our yoga practitioner, will be interviewing her to understand this very, very important concept of yoga called hot yoga. In fact, according to heat yoga practitioners, the style is so good because it helps, the heat actually helps to extend the ability of the ligaments, the tendons, and muscles. Immersing yourself in hot yoga practice is said to release toxins, improve flexibility and the range of motion, increase the chances of weight loss, develop muscle tone, build the immune system. The practitioners of yoga, in other words, hot yoga, help in reducing to a very large extent symptoms of certain chronic illnesses such as thyroid disorders, arthritis, and circulatory problems. Although anyone of any age can practice hot yoga, but it's important for you to check whether you have the ability. Find out, acclimatize yourself to the system. Get involved, get introduced, find out from practitioners. Like today, we are hoping that this is going to help you get introduced to this very new idea in South Africa, hot yoga. And some of the considerations that we should take is that the studio where you are going to practice, is it conducive for you, for your particular peculiar health issues, your age, your ability to improve and to extend yourself. Remember, yoga is about pushing your limits. Hot yoga helps you to push that limits to a really, really large extent. So generally, hot yoga will help you to improve flexibility, burn more calories, and builds bone density and gives you a good cardiovascular boost. At this point, it gives me great pleasure to hand you back to our very, very awesome Yoga Charcha series team. And we are extremely excited to listen to Kim Mazabow about hot yoga. I pray that the viewers of this Yoga Charcha series are able to glean and get the information they require about hot yoga, and continue on this great journey of research on yoga and the various limbs of yoga. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maharaj. We definitely enjoyed that. I'd like to welcome Miss Kim Mazabow. She's a founder and teacher at Gurukat, which is hot yoga based in Amshlanga. And interestingly enough, she was telling me a bit about herself, and I love the ethos by which she lives. She says, yoga is the answer. The question is irrelevant. We also have Mr. Safiri Mchuno, and he's from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center. And I have not left out Miss Paula Martini, who's also participating as a yoga practitioner today. So shall we get started and with the interaction between Miss Kim Mazabow as well as Miss Paula Martini. Welcome, and over to you.
Namaste. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, and thank you so much, Kim, for joining us this afternoon with this lovely interaction. And I really am looking forward to your comments and feedback today. So I'm going to start with the very first question, that is, how do you understand or define yoga?
Well, yoga is everything, isn't it? It's union, it's oneness. It is a way to live. It is the way to find happiness, the way to find peace. And yoga doesn't teach us anything new. Yoga reminds us of what we've forgotten. We think we're a body, we think we're a mind, we think we're our problems, our thoughts, but none of these things are true. And through the practice of yoga, not only the asana, but living the yamas and the niyamas, and eventually, hopefully getting into meditation and beyond meditation, we begin to understand that yoga is the path to truth, to remembering the truth.
Fantastic. Absolutely agree with you. And how did you get connected with yoga?
Yeah, that's quite a long story, which I won't go into, but very briefly, I was in a very dark stage in my life about 11 years ago. And I just come out of addiction. And I wanted more than the rooms offered. I wanted more than AA offered. And I just felt compelled. I'd been drawing angel cards for years, and the angels were telling me, go to yoga. And I thought, oh, no, I can't actually be bothered going to stretch for an hour. That's the ignorance of the ego. And then there was a hot yoga studio in Johannesburg, and I thought, I hear you can burn 1,000 calories in hot yoga. So that's actually what got me going. And I was hooked. I was hooked from that first class, and I just kept on practicing. And the teacher at the time, Sally Flanagan, said to me, you'll be a yoga teacher one day. I said, absolutely not. The rest is history. Yes.
Amazing. And do you feel any difference in your own life due to your practice of yoga?
My life looks like nothing like it looked like when I first lay down on the mat. It is a complete and utter turnaround. My life is yoga. I live in the same street as my shala, and I've chosen a solitary life. I'm not keen on going out, and I live a sober life, and I've chosen to be alone as well. So I truly live yoga. It is who I am. I'm not perfect. I'm still human, and I'm meditating to go deeper into my practice. I'm nowhere near perfect, but yes, my life is nothing like what it looked like when I first stepped onto the mat. Complete change.
It does do that, but always for the better, doesn't it?
Always. We think we want what's in the world, we think we want the things, we think we want people to love us, we think we need a man as a woman, or a woman, depending on your persuasion. You feel that you need another human being to complete you, but we just need God, right? and it's inside of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you have any specific style or school of yoga?
Well, I'm trained in Hatha, and that basically covers everything. Actually, it's the roots of all asana practice. But I teach Bikram style yoga, and I know a lot of people have a lot to say about Bikram, but it's not for us to judge. The yoga asana practice of Bikram is perfection. It is what saved my life, literally, and I have a great passion for teaching the 26 hot yoga postures of Bikram. I also teach yin yoga, and I teach vinyasa flow. Basically anything which incorporates hatha asana, I feel that I can teach. And I think that my yoga practice has guided me further on to bring more of the esoteric into my teaching. So I don't only teach asana. I bring life experience, and I don't like the term coaching, but I reflect on my experiences and I use that as examples to teach alternative ways of living.
Yes, because I think ultimately it's about living yoga and not just the time on the mat.
Correct. But it takes a while, in the beginning, we all start with asana. We all have our various reasons for coming, and there's no right and wrong for why we are drawn. But I always say the yoga will eventually seep into your cells.
It does definitely do that. And do you feel that yoga is not only a physical exercise or a scheduled activity, but is an integrated approach and understanding to live life in its entirety?
100%. I think we really cheat ourselves if we only focus on the asana, which is the physical aspect of it. I think that the asana is, in my mind, in my humble opinion, because I know nothing, I know very little, but in my experience, the asana is just the entry level to yoga. And if you stick with the asana, eventually you'll want to know, is there more? And then that's when we really start immersing ourselves in living yoga, which is, to me, the path to peace and fulfillment and joy. It truly is the answer to everything.
Absolutely. And do you feel that yoga is an art and science, which gives us a sense of affinity and connectedness with the entire universe?
100%. I agree with you, Paula, on every single aspect that you mentioned there. It is definitely an art. It is definitely a science. And it is the way to remember that we are divine, that we are aspects of the divine in having a human experience, that everything we see in the world is just a projection of our own minds. It's not even real. And it's the way back to the truth, to remembering, because we're living in this days, we're confused, we've forgotten. And yoga gives us the keys to come back home, come back to who we truly are.
Absolutely. And I think the true power to actually be present and in the now, which is where everything is. There's no future, there's no past can be changed, no future can be controlled, but purely in the now, which I think the practice itself definitely does lend itself to.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you.
And do you feel that yoga represents universal energy or universal love and compassion?
Absolutely. Yoga is oneness. It is everything. It is. It absolutely represents, to me, oneness and everything that exists within that oneness. So love and an expression of the divine. It is. Patanjali was so inspired to give us those 8 aspects of yoga, and it's all, to me, it's the path to remembering that we are divine, that we are one with that immense, eternal, beyond powerful consciousness, which is within us and all around us.
Yes, absolutely. And I definitely agree with regards to the 8 limbs of yoga. I think it's something that is sometimes, people often believe just being on their mat is one thing, but when you start living it in your daily life, I think it goes beyond that. And people often say, oh well, I don't want to go stretch for an hour. Well, you do know that doing whatever in your daily life is yoga.
100%. Everything is yoga. Everything is part that oneness. But I think in the beginning, when we first start our practice, it's overwhelming. The 8 limbs are overwhelming. The yamas, the niyamas are overwhelming. How do I even begin to live a life that is representative or is a representation of an aspect of yoga? It's overwhelming. It was for me too. But and my favorite niyama is Ishvara Pranidhana, which is surrender to God, because if we could just allow ourselves to do that, because we think if we surrender, we're going to be giving up, we're going to be losing something, right?
Exactly.
But it's in that surrender where you inherit everything and you lose your fear. And I think that if we can lose our fear, we have everything, you know? So to me, it's just golden keys to open up just the vastness of who we truly are.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, I love how yoga has the flow, you know, it always refers to a flow. And if we look at universal flow and we look at the flow of life and going with that flow and not having resistance or actually contaminating the flow, is how we actually achieve greatness within ourselves and that true connection to divinity, which you know, you have mentioned a couple of times, which I think is why I love yoga flow. You know, the two are so well connected, which yeah, is great. Absolutely. And would you suggest a couple of asanas for us?
I will suggest them. I mean, I think that the perfect sadhana is the Surya Namaskar, you know, and if you practice Surya Namaskar, you're basically having a full practice. So I will, as we discussed, send you recorded. I think I'll send you, maybe I'll send you one whole round of Surya. It doesn't take long. Yeah, but I think that you don't need to be anywhere. You don't need any special equipment. You can do Surya Namaskar anywhere. You know, those 6 postures repeated twice, 12 postures are just perfect. And you can do it anywhere. You can do it in a tiny hotel room. You don't really need anything special to do it. It's perfect.
Absolutely. I think the beauty about yoga also is that it literally only requires self.
Correct.
You
and
know,
we don't have to do a whole flow. You know, you can do a triangle pose, a downward facing dog. You can even do Bhujangasana, a little baby cobra. It doesn't take much. Anybody can do baby cobra. You know, you lie on your tummy and you lift up. It's the easiest thing. And just doing a few cobras can change the way you feel. Just getting out of bed and going into a downward facing dog or an upward facing dog, or even just Paschimottanasana, you know, just going into a forward fold, even while you are sitting in bed as you wake up in the morning. Iyengar said we should do Paschimottanasana every single day. It's the perfect posture, you know. So you don't have to do anything dramatic. You don't have to be standing on your head or on one toe or balancing on one arm. Yoga is for everybody. And I think that that's a great injustice or injury has been done to yoga by Instagram. Because we think that you need to be half naked and have a certain kind of body to be able to do yoga, but that has absolutely nothing to do with yoga. And when I teach, I tell my students we should be able to do it with our eyes closed, because it's to feel what the asana is doing to you as you are in the posture, because there are trillions of chemical reactions taking place in the body in every single posture. Every single posture is encoded with vast wisdom, with medicine, and we disparage that and we just reduce it to the physical.
Absolutely.
And I'm guilty of that too, because I used to do it in the beginning too, you know. So it's not about condemning that aspect of it, and it has brought many people into the practice, but it is, we really are discounting the fullness and the richness of what yoga truly can offer us.
Absolutely, I agree with that wholeheartedly, and I must be honest, I think we've all gone through that journey where, you know, posting the perfect pose on Instagram, and then realizing, you know, you've done a splits in a spur of the moment and land up with injuries and all kinds of things which are so unnecessary. But it's part of the learning, and that's the beauty of yoga. There's learning all the time, not only of postures, of body and of limitations and what you are and aren't able to do,
Correct.
but of self, I think, and
Correct.
that's the beauty of the practice and what the practice has taught me as a practitioner, I think. So yes, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to connecting with you soon again. And yes, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paula. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Now, I've been listening to both you ladies, and I must say, I'm totally inspired. Now, Kim, you are glowing. You look amazing. Honestly, now if that is the result of yoga, then I'm
And good lighting. And good lighting.
But look at you. You can't fake a smile.
No.
Smile is something you cannot fake. Look at the glow in your eyes. That's not lighting. That is definitely that you have a secret to. Am I right? And that secret she's just shared with us has got to be yoga. I can tell you, I'm listening to this discussion. My mind, I'm saying, you know what? I live a very busy and stressful life. Times that, you literally come home, forget to even eat, and just open the laptop, get busy with work. And that's the kind of lifestyle no one should have to live. And I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, surely it's about planning and making time. If you value, as you said, your life and what's important to you, you're going to definitely, as you said, show us a few of those poses. And I know number one on that list to want to try all of them. Okay, maybe start with one, not all. I'm being ambitious here as a starter, but I love to, and it's got your details, and not just for me. I'm just actually going to try this out and recommend it to others. So whatever you're posting in terms of moving forward, I'll be the first one putting my hand up and saying, let me go ahead and let me try this. And really, I've been very inspired by what you both ladies have to say. And it's something that we don't actually think about. And we go through the monotony of life, not thinking, hey, you know what? There's other things that we need to consider, and that's ourselves. What you have said, it made me definitely think about a lot of things. So please, as a starter, please make sure you send through one or two asanas for people like myself who want to try this.
So today we practice Surya Namaskar. Hands to heart, please. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, raise your arms above your head. Little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips brush through your heart. Bring your hands on either side of your toes. Step your right leg back. Drop your right knee down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, send that left leg back to the right into plank and hold it. Kumbhakasana, breath retention pose. Inhale, come forward onto your toes. Drop your knees, chest and chin. Ashtangasana, 8 limbs. Inhale, glide through Bhujangasana, Cobra. Lift your heart. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up, work your heels down. Look forward, step your right foot forward. Drop your left knee down. Inhale, step your left foot to the right. Forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms above your head. A little back bend. And then bring your hands to your heart. Namaskar. We repeat the same postures on the left. Inhale, reach your arms up. A little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips line up with your toes. Step your left leg back. Drop your left knee down. Step your right foot back to the left foot for Kumbhakasana, breath retention pose. Hold the breath here. As you exhale, you come forward onto your toes. Drop your knees down, your chest between your thumbs, chin down. 8 limbs on the floor, toes, knees, hands, and chin. Ashtangasana. Inhale, glide through Bhujangasana. Lifting into the heart. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Drop your right knee down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Exhale. Inhale, step your right foot back to the left foot. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up, a little back bend. Bring your hands to your heart. Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar is a complete spiritual practice, a complete sadhana. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Chunu.
Thank you very much, RTG, for doing your program directing job, and also allow me to take this opportunity to welcome you. You are officially welcome to our program, Yoga Charcha. Thank you very much. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Devon, it gives me a great pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks on today's 9th episode of the program, Yoga Charcha. This evening, we had a wonderful lady by the name of Miss Kim Mazabow. She is a founder and a teacher at Guru Ket Hot Yoga at Umhlanga. She had a wonderful and interesting interactions with Paula Martini, and she is a yoga practitioner. You know, when Kim G was talking, I was listening also. You know, she lived yoga. You can tell, you know, the glowing in her face, that this is a lady that really lives yoga, eats yoga, sleep yoga. So to Miss Kim Mazabow, thank you very much for just narrating your story this evening. To Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, our Program Director, Ms. Arti Rajkumar, Mr. Sashil Mana, thank you very much for taking part on today's program. Also to Mr. Kamal Maharaj, who delivered the introductory remarks this evening. I'd like to say, Danyavad, thank you very much for the wonderful work that you did this evening. To all our online participants, we'd like to say thank you for taking part on today's program. You are kindly advised to visit ICCR in Devon Facebook page for more cultural activities organized by Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center in Devon. Once again, to Miss Kim Mazabow and Miss Paula Martini G. Danyavat, thank you very much. To all of you, have a wonderful evening. Namaskar.